Hello and welcome to the Evercade Retreat. My name is Gene Joke and today I'm going through a bunch of games on the Evercade which I keep coming back to. Some games by their very nature are just endlessly replayable, others just have really good vibe and enjoyable gameplay loop that I just come back to it time and time again. I'll explain my thoughts on each game as I go through them. I'm going to rank it, but it's kind of arbitrary really. So anyway, without any further ado,
Number 10
is Quack from the Team 17 collection. Quack is an elimination platformer or single screen platformer. You control a duck, you throw eggs, you run around collecting fruit, taking out enemies, collecting keys to unlock things, and yeah, it's just a fun, jolly, cutesy little game. Well, not so little. There's a lot of levels on this game and you'll probably never see all of them. If you save state your way through or use continues, you'll still get to a point where it starts getting really frustrating, and I haven't beaten it. I've got to the point where I'm just like, yeah, you know what, it's stopped being fun at this point. But that's some like 80 levels in. I find the best way to play this game is just doing one credit. It's not an arcade game, but when you basically, if you play it and don't continue and treat that as a single credit, that's the best way to play it. Treat it as a score chaser because there is a good scoring mechanism there and both bonuses you can get and this, that and the other. And yeah, play it that way, you'll have a lot of fun with it.
Number 9
Top Racer 2 from Pico Collection 2. This could easily be Top Racer from Pico Collection 1, but I do slightly prefer Top Racer 2, I think. I was a big fan of the Lotus games on the Amiga, and these are essentially more of that. I mean, they're enhanced and tweaked and not quite the same, but the core gameplay is the same, and I have a lot of fun. They're great music, you just race through, and yeah, they're just a joy to play, you know. I don't know if I'm racing more or driving to the music, but yeah, I have a lot of fun with these ones, and yeah, I keep coming back to them. There's just, I don't think there's any other racing games on the Evercade that kind of capture that feel. So yeah, dig out your older Pico carts, start racing down a highway with those absolutely amazing Barry Leach tunes blaring out. Xenocrisis from the Xenocrisis Tanglewoods Dual Cart. Xenocrisis was one of the games that brought me to the Evercade. I played it on the Game Pass on the Xbox and really enjoyed it, and it kind of reignited my nostalgia for retro gaming, and that kind of led me to the Evercade eventually. Yes, it's ridiculously tough and I'm not sure I'll ever be able to beat it without abusing save states, at least not on hard mode. Maybe one day, I don't know, but I play it for fun. On a good run I can get to the dunes or the stage afterwards, but yeah, without kind of using continues or save states I can't really get any further, and I refuse to play on easy because you can't beat it, so I want to get good, but I don't think I'll ever get that good. Maybe, but it's just a joy to play. Yeah, thumping tunes, good graphics, fast frantic action. What's not to like? It's a great shoot 'em up and it's very easy to pick up and play, which kind of is why it's on this list and I'll come back to it. Sure, I can pick holes in the gameplay, and you know, if I was trying to beat it, you know, working religiously to try and beat the game, you know, without using a continue on hard mode, I'd probably get frustrated with it. But just for good sort of adrenaline blast, this just hits the spot perfectly.
Number 7
Techie Packy from Turplan Collection 1 is, I believe, Turplan's only sort of block dropping puzzle game, and well, it's called the Brainwashing Game, or that's a subtitle, or whatever it's called in Japan, I don't know. But it works. It is kind of brainwashing. It is quite an intense game, and when you first start playing it, I won't say it seems impenetrable, but it's hard to get good at it at first. There's definitely a barrier of learning to get into the game. But once you do, it does become very addictive. The brainwashing takes hold, and you'll find yourself playing it again and again. It'll be very much one more turn, trying to improve your score. And yeah, I keep going back to it for that very reason. And you know, these types of games are endlessly replayable anyway. So yeah, this is a good one. One of my favourites of its type on the Evercade. Number 6, and this is Rogue 64. This is one of the hidden games on it. Type in Stone on the secret menu and you'll unlock this game. It's a C64 game, an aftermarket one, or you know, homebrew or whatever you want to call it, and it's fantastic. It's a variation on Rogue. It's infinitely replayable. It's a fairly simple and straightforward example of its genre, and it's not the longest of games, but again, infinitely replayable, some great music, and I just have an absolute joy coming back to it time and time again. I really hope the sort of follow-on game Roguecraft comes to Evercade at some point. That's got to be a shoe-in for Home Computer Heroes 2. It's got to be.
Number 5
The Sword of Fargol from C64 Collection 2. It really doesn't look like much. The sound isn't good. It's quite slow and ponderous to play, but I keep coming back to it. It's not one I come back to as often as the others in some ways, but I do keep coming back to it. I often do quite long playthroughs. I know most people wouldn't rank it this high, but I get a lot of satisfaction of having a fantastic run and beating the game. It's a much more challenging game than Rogue 64 and more complex. It is much slower as well, which is the downside. The enemy turns and things do start taking a while later in the game. game, and that can become a bit of a drag. But I don't know, I get an immense amount of satisfaction out of beating, as I said. So this is a personal choice. I don't think many other people would rank it highly in this regard or come back to as often as I do, but yeah, I love it for some reason.
Number 4.
And this will have to be Tumble Pop. From Data East Arcade 1, this is a game that I played back in the day, and I used to go to Sega World locally to me, and there'd often be queues to play things like X-Men Children of the Atom or Tekken and various fighting games, the Mortal Kombat ones, and sometimes when it's busy, there'd be a Tumble Pop machine there, often, not really busy or, empty, and I'd think, well, I'll kill a bit of time and I'll play that one, and I end up getting hooked on it. I think it's a very overlooked game there at the time. I don't know how popular it was as a whole, obviously popular enough to have got a good reputation, and yeah, I have a lot of fun with this game. It's just a good fun score chaser. I can get a fair way through it or one continue now, and that tends to be how I play it now, just doing a single credit, getting as far as I can. I think of the sort of elimination platformers on the Evercade, this is probably my favourite. I don't know, I'd say it is my favourite overall. I do like other ones. The Snow Bros games are really good, and Broadland and things, but yeah, maybe it's nostalgia, but Tumble Pop for whatever reason does it for me more than the others do, because it's a comfort pick, a nice easy light-hearted game to come back to.
Number 3.
Psycho Pinball from the Codemasters collection. Now this is the only pinball game on the Evercade I think is worth a damn. I mean, the others have, they're good for their time or whatever. Dynaland I don't really think that much of. The Atari one's okay and the Intellivision one's okay, but Psycho Pinball is genuinely good. And again, I've always liked these pinball style games for the for the consoles back in the day. I was a huge fan of Dragon's Fury and Crew Ball and things like that. This is one that I hadn't played back then, but yeah, it fills that need, and when I want to play a bit of pinball, this is what I come to on the Evercade every single time, because as I mentioned, there isn't really a lot of competition on that front.
Number 2.
The Chaos Engine from the Bitmap Brothers Collection Volume 1. I don't know what it is about this game, I absolutely love it. I have a bit of nostalgia for it. I did play it on the Amiga back in the day, but I never got very far, and I also played the various console versions. Again, never got that good at it. It wasn't until getting on the Evercade that I really got good at the game and started to really enjoy it, and it's just one I just keep coming back to. It's a mixture of the visual style, the music, the action and the gameplay. Yeah, I just find myself keep coming back to it, and I couldn't really sort of say why. Maybe it's just I don't play it multiplayer and that. It's just playing single player, and it could be a nostalgia thing, but as I mentioned, I didn't play it that much as a kid. I wasn't that good at it. Well, I'm probably not that good at it now, but I'm genuinely getting better, and I get further and further and finding all the secrets and things, and having the computer character running around after you and doing other bits is cool, and also playing as different characters as well. So yeah, it's just a very complete game in my opinion, challenging but fun.
Number 1.
And that would be Loops from the Atari Lynx Collection Volume 1. It's a fairly straightforward game. I mainly play on the chain loops mode. The other ones are pretty fun as well. Essentially, you get various puzzle pieces, you put them down, you create loops. When you create a loop, they disappear. It's randomised what you get, although you do see what's coming next. There's Johnny music, and the game is just so goddamn addictive. When I first got the Lynx collection, I gave this a try and I dismissed it quite quickly, and it wasn't until it came up in KD's challenge when I took the time to learn the game, and I found very quickly I'd put sort of about 40-50 hours into it, and the time had gone, and even now I could just pick up and play it, and I'll have it in my Super Pocket or my EXP, and I'll be sit down and play anything, have a quick bash, and 20 minutes, half an hour has disappeared. This game is just so goddamn addictive. It is like liquid crack or something. Yeah, I absolutely love this game, and am I good at it? I'm probably okay, maybe. I don't think I'm great, but yeah, it's a great time passer, great for waiting rooms, killing time, travelling on the bus or whatever, and yeah, it's probably what I play most when I'm on the plane or waiting around. Fantastic game, and I think it's horribly overlooked on the Evercade. I know there are people who enjoy it a lot and will talk about it, but most people don't seem to, and maybe they've not given it the time of day like I hadn't initially. Maybe it's just not their jam, but yeah, I think it's fantastic. So yeah, that's 10 games on the Evercade that I keep coming back to, and that's just some. There are others as well, and some is what I've been coming back to more recently and things like that. There's some that I left out and I probably shouldn't have. I didn't even mention Speedball 2 or Sword of Iana or Sword of Sudan. For some reason I come back to that like a masochist. Yeah, there's numerous games I do keep coming back to. Cannon Fodder, and yeah, I could have gone on. This could have been a much larger list, but I decided to keep it down to 10. If you have games that you keep coming back to that I haven't mentioned, drop them in the comments, and maybe they're ones that I've overlooked and perhaps I should give more time to see if they are, if they'll hook me as much as these ones have. Anyway, that's it enough for this video, and I'll see you on the next one.